start the meeting with a welcoming address by our club president, Toastmaster 𝐸𝐿. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, SAA, Mr. Kenteng. Very good evening to fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to University Malaya Toastmaster Club meeting. First of all, apologize for the delay, like 10 minutes. Again, apologize. Second of all, thank you all for coming and helping us for the role players. And today's session is a very special one because instead of the usual table topic sessions, we're doing a very important sessions, especially for beginner Toastmasters, which is a mini evaluations workshops. And I'm very glad to have our Vice President Education's Toastmaster 𝐂𝐤𝐿 to host these sessions, to conduct these sessions. Since we have a lot of guests and external role players here, I would like to acknowledge them. Let's welcome District 51 Division W Director, Toastmaster 𝐘𝐂𝐟𝐞. Let's welcome.
Hi, everyone. Very good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Right. Let's welcome Alicia Kang from Falim Toastmaster Club. Welcome. And thank you for being the evaluators and also the last minute timer. Let's welcome Tan Zhao Tong from Falim Toastmaster Club. And welcome Xiao Tian from APU Toastmaster Club. Welcome. All right. And I would like to welcome the immediate past area director, Toastmaster Iktifa Rafi, area director for the area W1. Welcome. All right, without further ado, let's kickstart today's meeting by welcoming our Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Joshua Lin, who is also our Vice President of Memberships, to conduct the meeting. Welcome.
Thank you, 𝐸𝐿. Let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to our meeting tonight. First and foremost, I would like to share 3 pictures with everyone tonight. So here is the first picture. Do you guys know what this picture is? MasterChef. Have you guys heard of it? If you have heard of it, you can type a 1 in the chat box. Okay, so most of you heard before of MasterChef. It's a reality cooking show. The second picture is America's Got Talent. Have you guys heard of this show before, America's Got Talent? If yes, type a 2. Oh, okay, so everyone knows. Good. Now, the main question is, what is the similarity of these 2 shows? What is the main thing inside these 2 shows that we like to watch all of the time? Can someone tell me? You can open your mic or you may even type in the chat box as well. What is the similarity between these 2 shows?
Entertainment.
Okay, entertainment is one of it. Somewhat. The important thing, and it is also related with tonight's meeting as well.
Judge.
That's right, 𝐸𝐿, judge. The similarities between these 2 shows is a judge. There's always a judge there to evaluate, to say whether your cooking is good or whether you have talent or not. Hence, that is tonight's meeting's theme, be your own judge. With the word of the day, reckon. So, what is a judge? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, a judge is a person who is in charge of a trial in a court and decides how that person who is guilty of crime should be punished. So this is more towards legal matters. But if we were to talk about things like MasterChef and America's Got Talent, to put it simply, judge is someone who decides the results of that competition or even a situation. For example, I am a judge at home every time when my mother finished cooking her food, there's only two words coming out from my mouth. Oh, mommy, your food is bad today. You should improve some more. Or the another word is, oh, mommy, today your food is good. You should keep up the good work. So I am a judge. I am a judge towards her. I am the one who judge whether her food is good or bad. But in Toastmasters, we have evaluators. Evaluators, they give us constructive feedbacks. They tell us where you can improve, how you can improve it, as compared with judges who just give you what they see and what they observe. Now I'd like to talk about a brief history of Toastmasters International. So who started it? 𝐼𝐶 Smedley. Where and when it began at YMCA in California, America. The first official Toastmasters International meeting was in 1924. So why did 𝐼𝐶 Smedley created Toastmasters International? It is a need for the community to learn how to speak, conduct meetings, plan programs, and work on committees. Too long didn't read. It is for people to be effective communicator and leaders. And also a brief history of University Malaya Toastmasters Club. It started out as an initiative by Citra and officially registered on the 18th of April 2007. Who started it? Professor Marohaini Yusof and Dr. Stephanie Pillai, with the purpose of improving students' speaking and networking skills. Normally, in our Toastmasters session, we would have table topic session, which is a 1 to 2 minutes session for speakers with impromptu titles, followed by prepared speech session, where members present their speech with specific objectives. And lastly, evaluation sessions, where speakers receive constructive feedback on their speech. But for tonight, we changed table topics to mini evaluation workshop to teach everyone how to structure a good evaluation speech, plus a practice session where our club members will show us their evaluations in a contest style. So let's be excited for it. And after a mini evaluation workshop, we have the usual prepared speech session and the evaluation session. Before we continue to the workshop, I would like to introduce our role players for tonight. Starting off, we have our grammarian, 𝐾𝐿, presentation mastery level 2. 𝐾𝐿, would you like to introduce your role for tonight?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Toastmaster. Evening, Toastmaster Joshua. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and guests, as grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language use. I'll take note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. And as grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day for today's meeting, which is reckon, which brings the meaning consider or regard in a specified way. For example, how to use the word of the day reckon is, the event was reckoned a failure. So this is one of the examples that I can think of. And that's it. And finally, I encourage all participants, meeting participants and guest members to use the word of the day as much as possible. And back to you, Joshua.
Thank you, 𝐾𝐿. Next is our R counter for tonight from Falim Toastmasters Club, Innovative Planning Level 3, Tan Zhao Tong, would you like to introduce your role?
Thank you, Toastmaster Joshua. My role as a R counter is to detect is there any filler words in the speaker's speech, like la, or any repetitive and unnecessary words. And I will provide my R counter report at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Back to you, Joshua.
Thank you, Zhao Tong. And next we have our timer, which is not CJ, but is it Alicia? Alicia, are you the timer for tonight?
Timer is CJ, but I can take over, right? A timer is my role is to time the speaker to have the time management. So for a speaker in 5 to 7 minutes speech, I will flash green at 5 minutes and yellow at 6, right? 6 and rate at 7. Okay, so this is the 𝐷𝐞𝐻, this is a timer. Sorry, timer role play. Back to you.
Thank you, Alicia, for introducing the role of the timer. Last but not least, we have our general evaluator, which is Division W Director, Visionary Communication Level 5, 𝐅𝐫𝐸. 𝐅𝐫𝐸, would you like to introduce your role?
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, Joshua. So my role as the general evaluator is to monitor the atmosphere and activities of the meeting by being a constructive critic. As a GE, I will later lead a team of evaluators, which includes project speech evaluators, timekeeper, grammarian, 𝐷𝐸𝐿, and we've got a special evaluator of an evaluator. Together, we will highlight the positive points about the meetings and the speakers, as well as areas that the club could look into for future improvement. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, our general evaluator, 𝐷𝐸𝐸. All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, get ready your notepads. You can see my notepad. And also get ready your pens, as you will require them to jot down essential notes, which would help you later on in your Toastmaster journey, especially if you decided to take up a role as an evaluator. I would like to welcome 𝐿𝐸𝐸𝐿 to conduct this mini evaluation workshop. 𝐿𝐸𝐸𝐿, I pass the control to you.
Thank you so much, Joshua. I'd like to share the screen right now. Okay, what is this? Hold on. Are you able to look at my screen right now?
Yes, we can see.
Are you able to see the slides right now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the UM Toastmasters Club first and only. I mean, not first and only. Obviously, the first mini evaluation workshop. My name is Chong Yu Ming, and I'm very happy to be the host for today's mini evaluation workshop. So, essentially, what is evaluation? What I will cover are the following: what is an evaluation? What should an evaluator do, especially before the speech, or during the speech, and after the speaker has done a speech? And lastly, we will talk about how a good evaluation speech should be structured, and likewise, I would say the infamous or the famous I statement. Okay, so let's start. So what is an evaluation? So this is a definition taken from Cambridge. It's essentially a process of judging, which my dear friend, my fellow Toastmaster Joshua Lim has pointed out. It's essentially a judge, or calculating a quality, importance, and amount of or value of something. So what evaluation means is basically is to judge or calculating the quality and give feedback to the speaker in Toastmaster sense. So this is the very first important note I like everyone to take note here, is that evaluation is not the same as praising or criticizing. Of course, we do hear people say I'm a food critic, but food critic is not evaluation, because they don't give feedbacks, they don't do anything more than that. They just tell you that, oh, the food is not good, just don't patronize the restaurant. That is their job. Or if the good is good, then they say, okay, just go there, and next few months, if they just change the chef and they just don't like the taste of the new food, they will just say, no. So critique is not evaluation, because it's not a constructive one. It's not, there is, in certain cases, there is no ground for criticism, because criticism is like, some are just baseless. That is actually what we try to avoid as a Toastmasters evaluator. Likewise, praising is not good thing either, because we want to learn something from Toastmaster. We just don't want to be showered with adoration and praises. That is also a bad thing, because we don't know what we learn from there. So this is two important things. Praising will make us feel we learn nothing. Criticizing will make us not just learn nothing, it will demotivate us too. So what is the goal as a Toastmaster evaluator? So the most important thing for evaluator is to motivate speaker. Allow me to share my experience first and foremost, that I was quite an introverted guy, a bit stage fright. You know, what I like to get from Toastmaster is that, oh, I learned to speak with confidence. So what's the point of getting an evaluator that tells me that I am bad at this and bad at that, but never give me something like ways to encourage me to do so? This is bad. So that brings me back to the second point, which is encourage the speaker to improve. So maybe they will suggest to you, how to how to gain the confidence speaking to the audience in front of you guys right now. Likewise, we also, the evaluator's job is to give tangible, practical suggestions to help the speakers to improve. Okay, I will talk more about this later on, but this is the two essential goals as an evaluator. Okay, so what's the job as evaluator? So I tried to simplify the details here. What I'd like to everyone to know here is that this workshop is mainly for the first timers. So of course they need to know how does flow works. So what we need to know, what an evaluator should do in the first step is that they need to get the evaluation form from the speaker. So why we need evaluation form for? Well, is to understand the purpose statement and notes to the evaluator in the evaluation form. So every time you do a project speech, you will see, oh, what should I do? Oh, it's icebreaker speech. So I need to introduce myself as a speaker. Then as for the notes to the evaluator, that is because you're going to be evaluator, you need to know what you need to do as an evaluator to evaluate the speaker. Next will be liaise with the speaker if needed. So if the speaker needs help or the speaker wants to tell you something, layan, serve them. So it's good because most of us are working in service industry. Serving people is what we do best. So likewise, we also need to serve the speaker if needed. So it doesn't not necessarily have to serve them before they make a speech. During they make a speech, they also have to serve them after they've done a speech, and even after you provided them the completed evaluation form. Because sometimes the speaker just realize, oh, I don't understand what you're talking about. They will look back to you. So it would be great if you tell them something, give them reply, let them feel that, oh, you care about them, you want them to improve. This is what the impression as an evaluator give to a speaker. Next will be listen, feel, and watch when the speaker is making a speech. So use as many senses as possible to feel. So you pay attention when the speaker is speaking speech. Then next will be analyze and write down the observations, which we will discuss later. Finally, the second to last step is you make an evaluation speech to tell what the speaker has done right, done or needs improvement, and conclusion. Lastly, after everything is done, you return the completed evaluation form to the speaker. And that is essentially what evaluators do. Okay. So how to structure an evaluation speech? So let's start with some contents here. So of course, how to structure, that's the point of talking about structure of a speech when you don't know what to talk about or what to write about. What should we look at as an evaluator? So what should we look at? So first thing first, we normally will look at the message of the speeches. So speeches, be it inspiring speeches like telling, oh, it's my life story, this and that. There is always some messages. Is there something for you to take away? Oh, I need to work hard, or I need to be more careful dealing with people, or oh, I learned something new. Oh, I learned how to understand graphs, or like so on and so forth. So basically, we need, what do you learn? What do you get from the speech? What is a takeaway here? After all, that is what speech is. What is the purpose of telling a speech? Is to let the audience get the message, or you want the audience to do to get motivated. Likewise, or you want the speakers to do something which you think is good for them. So this is the message which is very important. Likewise, So apart from messages, we also look at how they execute the speech, which is what we call how they deliver the speech. So as for eye contact, so like right now, what I'm doing right now is right. So if I keep looking around, do you feel, so is my eye contact making you feel engaged or making you feel distracted? Likewise for body language, you will see how they like pointing to myself, you know, like, okay, talking about my emotions. I feel quite sad because I lost a cat today, so on and so forth. Or you can say, I'm so excited. Yeah, I have just completed my level 1 project. That's a good example. So this is body language. And as for vocal variety, so who would like to listen to Mr. Bean's speech? It sounds so monotonous. Of course, in real life, Robert Atkinson is quite a good actor. He just act purposely to be boring, to get people's attention. It could be that. So so for vocal variety, is also it's either you can get something as entertaining, which makes you feel engaged, or some of it will be so monotonous you will want to go fall asleep. So this is something you will take note here. So essentially, let your senses guide you in your evaluations. So the oral structure is quite simple. There will be 4 parts. There will be introduction, 2 to 3 strengths, 2 to 3 improvements, and conclusion. So this is a very important note which I write down here. So evaluation stage takes 2 to 3 minutes to be completed, to be done. Do not exceed the 3-minute mark, or else you may be disqualified, or it will be too long. It will take other people's time. So typically it takes 2 to 3 minutes. So what timer will put up green light at the 2-minute mark, amber lights up at the 2.5-minute mark, and red lights up at the 3-minute mark. So time's up 3 minutes, then you see the red light. Okay, so first for introduction, what are the things you need to take note here? So what should we talk? Oh, what is the type of the speech? So speeches will generally fall into 4 classes here. So the first one will be inspirational. So from 0 to hero, maybe you talk about when you're young, you were like, you are quite a weakling person, you know, you're quite weak, you're quite frail, quite sick, and you have a dream, you wanting to be a ballerina or something like that, or you want to be an athlete, but you're deemed too weak to do so. So you work hard, you do this, you share your life stories. Then it turns out you're a hero by carrying a medal and carrying the Malaysian flag with a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games today. Okay, that is inspirational. So and likewise, as for informative, so we have said ways to eat. Maybe you want to talk about, okay, different cultures have different ways of eating. Some people like to eat things by using bread as a way to take the food and put in the mouth. Or it could be, we use fork and knife to eat steaks. Or can you say that, oh, when we eat, Chinese generally, the East Asians generally like to use chopsticks to eat their food. So yeah, ways to eat. So what you learn from that is, oh, you're learning that, oh, you're learning what are the ways to eat. So you're being informed. You're being informed, okay, that what I learned, what's the takeaway from today? I learned that, oh, South Asians in general like to eat using their hands, or East Asians in general prefer to use chopsticks. And next will be persuasive. So hard time to get up early. So if for a speech which is persuasive, is a speech that can get you to do something after doing the speech. So likewise, for example, titles like time to get up early. For someone like me who is a night owl, who likes to wake up at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. because I sleep quite late at night, if that speaker can make me change my behavior, that is persuasive. Okay, if that person can convince me to do otherwise, which I don't think I will do, but I will do it nonetheless, that is a persuasive speech. It's quite a straightforward one. So the word persuasive, so persuade you to do something. I'm not asking persuasive speech to be a political one or anything. It can be quite simple, like time to get up early. It could be simple as eat your greens. Yeah, common things that you hear all the time. And lastly is entertaining speech. So the entertaining speech will be the speech that can make you laugh. Keep in mind that entertaining speech is not the same as being a comedy speech. Okay, it's not comedy. Essentially, like I say, all speeches must carry a message. So like inspirational speech will say, there's a will, there's a way, like I said, from zero to hero, or you're weak, but in the end you can be an athlete. There's a will, there's a way. Informative speech is that, oh, I learned that eating, we respect the cultures by eating the right way. That's how I learned. Being persuasive is that, oh, I will learn how to get up early. And as for entertaining speech, you will learn something. Maybe you learn some life stories from that. It's quite an interesting one. I haven't done so before, but you will hear that from time to time if some Toastmasters here like to give entertaining speeches. So as for entertaining speeches, you will hear things like twists, like a sudden twist of event, which is quite shocking. Turns out it will make you laugh. Or you can suddenly think about a sarcasm, which means that they will say something, but actually in reality, it actually happens otherwise. Okay, so these are the rhetorical devices for an entertaining speech. So, and lastly, what to talk during the introduction is what is the overall message from the speech. So what's the overall message from the speech? You just give about 1 or 2 sentences long, should suffice. You don't need to say too long because this is 2 to 3 minute speech. Next will be strengths. So next will be strengths. So what we're going to talk about is what the speaker done well. Okay, in your opinion. So as an evaluator, it's your opinion to judge. That's quite important point. So what is the strength? So what's the strength of the speaker? So he has delivered a good speech. What kind of good? In what sense is good? Maybe his eye contact is quite engaging. Yeah, it could be. So how we're going to structure strength is that how we write is like this. So essentially we have 2 to 3 points. So you can say, the first point would be hand gesture, which I gave example here. So the first point we talk about hand gesture. Then the second point we will talk about, like say, they use quotes in the speech. Okay, quotes like Thomas Edison, Barack Obama, or whichever prominent figures you can think of. So how to make a good structure in this sorts in this method is we use the C method. So for each points, we will say, we make the first general statement, which is your opinion. So we say that your hand gesture is purposeful. Okay, that is the first S here. The second one will be evidence. Why would you say so? Why would you think so? So you have to provide evidence where the speaker could refer back in their speech. So you could say at the beginning of speech, or you could don't be as vague as at the beginning of speech. You can say, or when she's talking about the time she was working somewhere else, working in the mangrove swamp or something like that. You say, she has made good gesture to express her feelings. At least you say something that, the speaker can refer back at the time she said that, and she can learn from that. And she can take note this as a strength, and she can do that in the future speeches. That is the reason why we need evidence, so that they know where are they good at, and they know how to apply in their next speeches. And lastly is the effect. So how does it make you feel? So normally, if a guy's gesture is good, you can feel like you say, I feel like I can relate myself with the speaker. Or I feel engaged because her way is so, she's talking about emotion. So she's showing that, the hand gesture makes sense. Next will be improvements. Or likewise, again, 2 to 3 points should suffice. And the method is similar to C, but you add the last S because we're going to add the additional points, which is called suggestion for each points of improvement. So first thing, of course, the first S will be stating opinion. Maybe your voice is quite monotonous. Okay, so again, like evidence say, which part your voice quite monotonous. You're trying to say at that point you want to talk about joke about the cat jumping around in your house. You didn't make it sound quite engaging because maybe you didn't make it sound funny because your voice is monotonous. So at least likewise, speaker can find out where is their mistake. Not mistake, where is their lacking and where they can improve from that. And lastly, second to last would be how does it impact you? Again, how does it impact you? I don't feel attached to speech because we don't say it very honest by saying, oh, it makes me feel so sleepy. No, you just say that I don't feel attached to speech. I feel a bit distracted, and so on and so on. These are the common words normally used in the evaluation speeches. And lastly, suggestions. You must give suggestions, especially on improvements, because if you don't give suggestions, how on heck they're going to learn? Okay, and the suggestions should not be bombastic. It should be something that you think in your belief as an evaluator, in your belief that it will work. So give a practical suggestion, because that way a speaker can learn to use that in the future. They can try, they can use this method you say, they can implement that in their speech, and they may do it better. And also likewise, they also may refer to you, because they say, oh, about this method, you can guide them as an evaluator, and so on, so on. So a conclusion, essentially what conclusion does is that we have to recap the strengths and improvements. And of course, you just say, oh, so as for your speech, what you're good at, you just say, you have done well in your body gestures and your vocal variety. And however, you need, I think however is not a good word. And what I believe you should improve on is this and that, like giving, being more engaging, so and so on. Body language. So these are the common things you will say. And now after you say all the points beforehand, then you put it into the conclusion to summarize everything up. And finally, you have to thank you everyone, including the speaker. Of course, you have to thank speaker for giving a chance for you to become an evaluator. And thank you, the audience, for listening. Okay, just thank you. A simple thank you will do. So this is an example layout I created for myself when I did the first science evaluator. I believe this is quite a nice one. I don't know whether you guys, I evaluate, those who have done evaluation has used this sort of layout. So as far as I can tell, I couldn't find it in the base camp right now. So this is example layout. So basically you can say the speech type, just write down what kind of speech type it is. Then there will be these 4 general classes. It could be entertaining, it could be informative, just write down. Okay, just 1 point, just one will do. So just give out, oh, it's informative. Okay, or it's engaging, it's inspirational speech. Then you lay out the summary of the overall speech. Like she's, I learned that, oh, you have there's a will, there's a way. And how a weakling like you, when you were little, turns out to be make you an athlete which can carry gold medals everywhere. And likewise, you can say, okay, the strength and improvements. So here I list out 2 strengths and 2 improvements. So your opinions can write in each spaces: evidence, effect, and suggestions. Of course, strengths has no suggestions. That makes sense, hopefully. Lastly, and the most important thing of all evaluation speeches is the word I statement. Okay, this is something everyone must learn in the level 1 project speech. There's even a section in the base camp dedicated for it. It's quite important. Why it's so important? Essentially is that we as evaluators, we want to make speaker feel confident. Okay, we want the speaker to learn, to improve. We also do want the speakers to feel left out. And likewise, we want the speakers and the evaluator have like one-to-one relationship. We will feel much more personal, much more tailored to your speeches. That's why I statement is a very impactful way to motivate a speaker. So why I statements? So basically, the first keyword is basically taking ownership of opinion. Keep in mind that we as evaluators, we are humans. We make judgment based on our beliefs, based on our own prejudices, based on our own inherent thoughts. So basically, it's our opinion to judge someone else. If you get, later on, we will have 5 evaluators going to evaluate same speech. You'll be surprised that you may hear a different evaluation speech, different points of improvement, different contents from, even though the speech is the same, but 5 evaluation speeches will end up 5 different speeches with different contents which are not the same. So again, second thing which I said earlier shows that the evaluator is addressing the speaker. So it's between I as a speaker and you as a, I as the evaluator and you as a speaker. Okay. Okay, the big no-nos are very important here. So we don't ever say we statement, because you as an evaluator, we are doing it on behalf as a, we are doing as an evaluator, we are evaluating the person. It's my opinion. It's not the Toastmaster's opinion. It's not the audience opinion. Okay, the speaker will not feel the pressure that, oh, I must conform. There's no such thing as conformity in Toastmasters. What we want everyone to learn is that we will want them to learn to make good speeches in the future. We don't want them to like, oh, you must do this, or very authoritative statements. So we is generally disencouraged. Likewise, me, of course, you will say, why me tak boleh but I can? That makes sense, because me is basically, you will say to me, essentially, you have somebody, you're using a third person statement here. Okay, you're not confronting yourself to the evaluator here. You're trying to hide on somebody else's point of view, something like that. So you're going to give the speaker some impression that there is someone between you and the speaker. So that's why me statements is disencouraged, and he and she statements are not great too, because you are talking to the speaker. Evaluators talk to the speaker. We are not talking to the audiences. So normally people talk to audiences. You refer to the speaker as he and she or something like that. Or you look at the report card as you look at the report card. If you look at the report card, you see, oh, Yu-Ming is a good student, or Yu-Ming is above the average student. He has completed the course 1 something. You notice when report card write this kind of statement like this, it's basically saying, oh, who is it directed to? Obviously, it's to the headmasters or to the administrative team. It's not to me. It's to them. It's not to me. You can tell because it write he. It's not you. It's not writing to me. Okay. So it's very obvious. You can see he and she statements like, oh, I'm talking to the audience. I'm talking to my fellow Toastmasters members. I'm not talking to you as a speaker. There's no one-to-one relationship. There's no engagement. So likewise, we try to avoid using you statements here. Why you statements try to avoid is that we not do so.
Yeah, just to let you.
Oh, we are done already.
Time is out.
Yeah, that's all. This is the last one. So for you statements, we try to avoid is because you are expressing your opinion as an evaluator to the speaker. So any questions so far? I believe there's no much time, right?
I have a question. Just one quick questions. Can you go back to the last slide?
Yes.
You're saying that these statements is not encouraged, but it's okay to say you in the middle of a sentence, right? Like I noticed.
Yeah, but when I said I statement means I believe, I saw, okay. It starts with, generally it starts with I.
So this slide is
don't say,
talking about.
Don't say, Ming Kang, you have completed this, you haven't done this. No, this is not I statements. I statement is like, Ming Kang, I believe you have made a very good quote. You have stated a good quote from Thomas Jefferson on how we can achieve greatness, something like that. See, okay. I statements. See,
understand. Thank you.
We don't say you have done. No, you no. It's like pointing fingers kind of thing. That's why best to avoid you statements unless it's absolutely necessary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions so far? And any questions? If there's no questions, then we will proceed with the test speaking session. And so the plan is quite simple. I will introduce the test speaker for today, who is Pauline Ng from MISA. Just give a hand applause to her because she's volunteering to become our test speaker for today's workshop. Okay, so if there's no question, we may start the test speaking session. So like I said just now, before we before an evaluator is going to evaluate the actual speech, we must know what? We must know what does the evaluation form tell us. So basically what Pauline Tan is trying to do, why I didn't, so for her, she's engaging humor. She's at her title is EH4. I forgot to change here. I don't know, I changed here, but it didn't change there. I'm not sure why. So she's doing her level 1 speech on evaluation and feedback, the first speech, and the title is Where is he? So what the evaluator should do is that they have to read out the purpose statement. So who likes to volunteer to read out the purpose statement? Who likes to volunteer?
Maybe I can help.
Okay, thank you so much, Joshua.
Okay, so Pauline, the purpose statement of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting, and also for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. That is all.
Okay, so so generally what the Toastmaster evening will get the evaluator to read out the purpose statement to the audience. Next, after the purpose statement is being read out, the Toastmaster of the evening will call out the general evaluator to read the notes for the evaluator. Okay, general evaluator, are you okay to read out the notes for the evaluator for today?
Sure, I'll be happy to.
Oh, sorry.
So notes for the evaluator, if you know you will be the evaluator ahead of the meeting, communicate with the speaker to learn about them and their goals for their first evaluation, feedback, and project speech. Be sure to set aside enough time for your schedule to meet the speaker after the speech to review and evaluate. Review the evaluation and answer any question they may have. This member have spent time writing a speech to present at the club meeting. About this speech, the member will deliver a well-organized speech on any topic. Focus on the member's speaking style. Be sure to recommend improvement that the member can apply for the next speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The member will ask you to evaluate the second speech at the future meeting. Back to you.
Thank you, Asmir, for reading out the notes for the evaluator. So this is how the standard SOP on how the evaluation, how a project speech is being done. So before the speeches starts, the purpose statement will be read out by the evaluator to the speaker. And lastly, the notes for the evaluator will be read out by the GE to the evaluator themselves. So now let's start with, so Pauline, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. I can hear your voice quite clearly. So the title is Where is he? Where is he? Pauline, the floor is yours. You'd like to share screen?
No.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I'm still seeing the shared screen.
No, I mean the screen, I just put it here because this is
you're going to leave it there, is it?
I just leave it there, yes. I'm just asking, are you planning to share a screen from your end?
Oh, no. Okay, sorry. And one request, can I, when it comes to timing, when the green light is on, can you just spot the timer for a while? Because I don't know how to pin the timer from here.
Timer, if possible, could you put up, okay, CJ, could you raise your hand up? You just click, all you do is you click at the reaction and just put raise hand. Yes, thank you so much. Are you able to see the timer, Pauline?
Now I can see.
Okay, great. You may start now. The floor is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, what do you reckon is the best age to get married? Statistics shows that the best age to get married with the least possibility of a divorce is 28 to 32. When I was 20, I have many admirers. But I have no intention of getting attached or to get married at that age. I do fantasize about boys, you know, those long hair, groovy, hippie, guitar playing type. But sadly, all the guys I met are those boring boy next door type. The first guy who fall for me is barely 5 feet. He is very fair and he's roundish, like a cute potato. Although he's a bank officer, it didn't attract me. And the second guy that crossed my path, it's all the way from Klang. Now, guys, now you know that my admirers actually lined up from KL right up to Port Klang. And this guy, he is taller than me. He's tan, but he's very studious. He's got this spectacle, which is very thick, and you can actually see all the rings. And on our first date, he took me to a movie. Ladies and gentlemen, The Elephant Man was the saddest movie I ever watched in my life. And it's black and white. What a depressing mood on the first date. So guys, if you are dating a girl for the very first time, for goodness sake, choose a happy, lively, and colorful movie. Needless to say, I rejected both these two guys, along with 4 or 5 others. And then fast forward, I was into my mid-20s. At 25, I became a little bit more materialistic. By then, looks wasn't my first priority. Who is he is more important. A doctor, a lawyer, an engineer would be just great. However, a manager or someone of supervisory level can also laugh. But at 25, the guys do not seem to fall head over heels with me, as much as they used to do when I was 20. But I wasn't very worried at 25. I'm still very young. However, with a blink of an eye, I was into my 30s, still single and unattached. I was beginning to get desperate. I don't care anymore who is he or what is he. Just tell me, where is he? Mom says my 头发完, which is my romance fate, is over. I play hard to get, and now I have missed the boat. But mom, if I get married at 20, it is a sure recipe for divorce. So I reckon that I will be a bachelor girl all my life. Depression set in, and I bury myself wholeheartedly to my job. And one day, a lady of leisure friend called me, Paulina, join me for tennis lesson. There's a new class starting at the YMCA next week. No, I'm not busy, and I'm not interested. I'm very busy. I put the phone down, and I forgot all about it. However, 2 days later, she called me. Pauline, I have registered with both of us for the lesson, tennis lesson. What? I haven't even decided. Well, I have decided for you. There are 2 good reasons why you should join. Number 1, you are so skinny. The exercise will be good for you. And number 2, I did some homework. There are 10 persons who registered for this class. And out of this 10, 7 are guys. It's a good opportunity for you to make friends. Okay lah. I join you since you have paid for me. Certainly not because of the 7 boys. But truth be told, the 7 guys are actually the main deciding factor why I joined. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that tennis is so difficult to learn? Unlike badminton, this tennis ball flies all over the court, and I simply can't get the hang of playing tennis. However, what I enjoy most is after this tennis lesson, the whole gang of us will go for dinner together with our coach at one of the coffee shops at Brickfields, just across the road from YMCA. So we will talk about a lot of things, about the game, about food, about whatever. And among this group of guys, there's one guy who's very quiet. he barely opened his mouth to talk, although he listened, he showed interest in what we are talking. But during some rare occasion that we were together alone, he would make small talk with me. So guys, what do you reckon that is some sparks, right? Anyway, time soon flew by and the 3 months tennis classes came to an end. Our coach invited us to his house for a barbecue party. And guess what? This introvert guy, he called me and asked me if I'm going for the party. He can give me a lift. Yes. So, what do you reckon? It's on his mind. Anyway, Cupid this right, and I did find my Mr. Right in this introvert guy. And ladies and gentlemen, do not be, in conclusion, I would like to say, do not believe in superstition. There is no such thing as you have missed the boat, because the boats are everywhere. Keep looking and you will definitely find. But however, at the end of the day, you still can't find a boat to board for whatever reason. Do not be disheartened. Just continue to appreciate and enjoy life and be happy. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmasters of the evening.
Thank you so much, Pauline, for making a very light-hearted speech for this workshop. So without further ado, we may start with 5-minute breakout, 5-minute preparation time, and each of the evaluators, the 5 evaluators, will be put into the breakout rooms. Yeah.
All right, I'm helping with the breakout room session. So Alvin, Daryl, Hongjian, and Xinping, and one more, Maro. Are you here, Maro? All right, then I'll just send 4 of our so-called contestants to the breakout room. Okay. For the
is the timer recording anything, Income?
Yes, we'll have 5 minutes until 9:09. Do you want to be in breakout room too, the workshop speaker? To guide them, perhaps. I'm not sure if they, yeah.
I'm okay with or without, but sure.
All right. Okay, so we just have 5 minutes air time for the so-called contestants to have a preparation session. Is Pauline still here? Pauline is still here, right?
Yes. Shy.
Anyone has any questions to Pauline? Interview?
No question, but very entertaining, Pauline. Very, very good.
Just want to ask Pauline for the feelings after giving this speech.
Sorry?
Just want to ask
again?
for your feeling after giving this speech.
Oh, okay.
Now?
I don't know, somewhere along the line I was a bit nervous, and then I think some important points I missed out. Like why is it don't believe in superstition? Yeah, because mom says that, you know, this tofa and this fate, what you call this romance fate, as a time limit. So certain people comes early, certain people come late. So I have already missed that. So that is a superstition.
28 to 32, huh? I have a few more years.
28 to 32, least possibility of getting a divorce.
But that's
matured enough.
But you need time for relationship before you get married, right? So 28 to 32 is time for marriage. So time for relationship is even earlier. Okay, Shijie, you need the time list, huh? have you got the agenda? The time list, the participants list is in the agenda page.
Yeah, I don't have the agenda.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
I'll just
Maybe you
send
can
it.
see the agenda. Yeah, thanks.
I'll just share you the link. The participant list.
Sure, thanks.
However, Maro is not here because
Alright.
of internet connections.
What's his name first? Maybe when he connects or something. Yeah. Okay, sure.
All right, 1 more minute for participants. FYI, they are all first timer in giving evaluations. And yeah, just FYI. When I was first evaluating, I know my performance.
Are these all the contestants for the evaluation contest in the club? Or
no,
just a
it's
random...
a mini evaluation workshops for first timer evaluators, and they are all first timer.
I see. Can't wait to see who are going to be the contestants.
Okay,
Good
I
practice.
really need to get, because evaluation is pretty scary. I think I hesitated a lot before giving my first evaluation. So for me, this is a very good platform to get them all practice evaluations. Okay, we'll now have our first contestant here. First contestant. Let me send Daryl here. Okay, teleporting Daryl. And Yuming. Okay, Daryl, you have 2 to 3 minutes for your evaluation session, and the timer is 𝐂𝐤𝐻𝐸. Let me know if you're ready.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Wing-Kang. So Pauline's speech was, to me, I think it was a very entertaining speech, and she managed to capture my attention from start to end. And the summary of the speech, the message of the speech that I got was, do not believe in superstition, because love is always around if you look for it and if you want to find it. So the first strength that I found in your speech, Pauline, was that you are a very enthusiastic speaker. And I can see this through the use of your hand gestures and also your voice. So when you said spectacles, you made the gestures, and then it allows us to connect with you better. You use your voice really well, because we can hear the excitement in your voice. For example, when you talk about the many guys that you met, your voice goes up. So then we can understand your excitement, and then we can relate to what you're saying. Secondly, the second strength that I found in your speech was the vivid details that you put in your speech. So, for example, you said that you met guys, you had guys signing up for you from KL all the way to Klang. And I think that these little details, these specific details, made your speech even more engaging and memorable, because with these small details, it can help us to picture what you're trying to convey. And as for the weaknesses, the only weakness for me was that I think near the start of your speech, you were still trying to get into the right mood or energy to present your speech. So near the start, I think it took you some time to collect your thoughts and remember what you wanted to say. But I think after that point, yeah, your speech flowed really well. So I think to improve on that, maybe sometimes before the speech, you can try and get into the right mindset to present your speech so that you can ensure that the energy and your attitude is, you're in the right mindset to present your speech so that your speech flows all really well from the start to finish. So in conclusion, the two strengths that I saw was that you were very enthusiastic. And secondly, you had a lot of vivid details. And the only improvement that I would suggest is that try to maintain the great energy you had from the middle to the end of the speech, at the start of the speech as well, so that your speech captivates everyone from the start to finish. And that is all. Thank you.
All right, Yu-Meng, you want to take over the session?
Sure. So I'd like to bring in the second speaker, evaluator for today. It would be Alvin. Who's in? Alvin?
Yeah,
I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Alvin?
Hello.
The floor is yours.
All right. Am I audible? First of all?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay. My evaluation will start in 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, Toastmasters and fellow guests. So before I start off my evaluation session, I would like to highlight a few points from Pauline's speech that what I learned from her speech. One thing for sure is that we learned about her love life, like how she met guys during her when she was younger, and perhaps maybe her like dating history, and also how she was quite the it girl, the one who's like has boys lining up the blocks, how she was famous and all, how boys fall over her and all. So we get a brief idea of how her speech is like. So before I start my evaluation session, I find Pauline, hello. I find your speech very entertaining, which is like the speech type, I believe. So before I start my evaluation, can I ask you a questions? Would you like to be informed of your strength or your aspects that you would like to improve on first?
Everything.
Everything. Okay, so I will just start off with the your strengths from what I really like about your speech. So first of all, I really like how relatable your speech content was. You talked about how you were materialistic when you were like 25. I find myself a materialistic person as well, because what I look for in a special someone is someone who's stable, who has a stable job, everything, who can actually like provide, or just like someone who is rich, or just, you know, like fun to be around, or anything that's that can bring me a happy stable life. And it got me really humorous. In a way, your speech was very humorous. It got me laughing here and now, because you talked about how you talked about how you were put out there, like you had boys lining up the block, everything about that, like just really good, because you made yourself like you were the hot girl, like the it girl in KL, in Klang, from boys from KL to Klang as well. And then I really like about your the next thing would be how your hand gesture as well, because when you were talking on the phone, you acting like you were talking on the phone, really like that you have the hand calling gesture as well. So moving on to your things, aspects that I believe that you can improve on that perhaps makes your speech better in the future, which be, first of all, would be the vocal variety. What I realized just now when you were talking, because you were on the phone just now during your speech, you were acting like you were on the phone. What I wish for is that you would maybe add a little bit like vocal variety when you were maybe perhaps for the other person on the receiving end. That makes like maybe add a bit a lower voice. It would sound like you were talking to a different person and not to just yourself. Maybe makes it more entertaining and as well like realistic as well. Overall, I really like your speech. The speech content, it was very entertaining. I really like. I was laughing throughout your whole speech. It was very, very humorous, and for me, I reckon that you really spice up your vocal tones and variety, like for just what I just said, your vocal variety. So overall, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alvin, for making a very nice, interesting evaluation speech. Just keep in mind that you don't need to ask the speaker whether you need to say the strength or weakness first. Of course, like
You sound so distant.
Distant.
I can barely hear you.
Oh dear. Can you hear me right now?
Still the same. I can hear what you're saying, but very soft.
Oh dear. I didn't do anything. What happened?
How come I can hear him? Oh, maybe I
can hear him clearly.
A lot.
Okay.
Can you hear me right now?
No,
yeah,
very
softer.
faint.
Soft. Hello, can you hear me?
Better, but I think we can go on. I can understand what you're saying. It just sounds a bit distant.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It was fine for
That's all right.
first hour, everything. Then it happens like that. So thank you so much, Alvin, for making your second evaluation speech. So I just like to say that just go on straightforward because we have 2 to 3 minutes of evaluation speech. Just say the strengths, then the weaknesses and everything, and conclude everything within minutes. You don't need to ask speaker about whether you want to say which one first. Let's welcome the third evaluator speaker, who is, drum roll please. Let me see.
Hongjian.
Hongjian, yeah. Let me see, because I was looking at I was talking to you just. Hongjian, third speaker. Is Hongjian in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. The floor is yours. Hongjian, you may start now. Hello.
Hongjian is having internet issue, I suppose.
Oh, I see.
I'll bring in the last speaker first.
So you like to start, Mauro?
Yeah.
Are you okay, Hongjian?
Yeah, Hongjian, you like. How about we let Xingbing start first, and perhaps while Hongjian's fixing, we move back to Hongjian after that. Sounds good, Yu Ming?
How about Mauro?
Mauro is also having connection issue.
Oh, I see. Xingbing, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay, everything's fine with you? Good.
Yeah.
So Xingbing, the floor is yours.
Okay, can everyone see my screen? Okay. So today I'm going to evaluate the speech by Pauline, and the title is Where is he? And a few key takeaways I get from Pauline's speech is that this is her journey of pursuing love. At first, she is kind of hard to get, and there are many there were many admirers, but she rejected them. And then after that, she kind of get worried and started to wonder like, who and when will this person come? And finally, under certain circumstances and with the help of a friend, she finally found the right one. And at the end of her speech, she encouraged us to appreciate and enjoy life and be happy. And for Pauline's speech, I have 3 C's to give you. The first one is composed. I really like how composed your speech is. You structured your speech from the start to the end, like you told us the whole complete story, and your speech is really colorful. I really like how detailed your descriptions are of the characters of your story, and it really gives us imagination and really gives us a picture how the characters in your story are like. And thirdly, the third C is cute. I think that your speech is really cute, and I like how you interact with the audience. At the beginning of your speech, you asked us like, what is the best age to get married? I think this is a really interesting question that invokes the interest of the audiences. Besides, I really like how you implement day-to-day conversations. I remember there was one sentence in your speech which was "can also lah." I think this was the highlight of your speech, the tone and mood when you said that sentence. It really makes people smile from the bottom of their hearts. And besides that, I think the tone and mood of your speech really makes people immerse in your story. I also remember there was one phrase where you clenched your fists together and exclaimed, "Yes!" I cannot help but couldn't stop smiling at that exclamation. And for some suggestions for Pauline, I noticed that there were some pauses in your speech, and I suggest that maybe you can try to reduce the number of pauses in your speech. I believe that if you work in that, the audiences will be more immersed in your speech. And that is all from me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Xingping, for making a very interesting third evaluation speech. That's the first time I've seen evaluation speech in slides. Well done. Now, Mingkang, is Maro's and Hongjian's internet okay, or
we'll have Hongjian test first. Let's have Hongjian test the internet.
Hongjian? Is everything all right?
As internet connection is, I'm not sure. Yeah, you have to try it out.
So Hongjian, are you ready to make the evaluation?
Oh, yes.
Great. So the floor is yours, Hongjian. The floor is yours.
Congrats on Pauline for completing his speech today. Her speech today is a very interesting and engaging speech. So in her speech today, she shared the dating life, her dating life, and how we should be patient. And speaking from her experience that even if there's no potential date, you should still enjoy your life, and eventually you'll find one. So for her strength, I think it's very interesting that her title is start with a question. So where is he? So you will certainly pick an interest in the audience and attract them to keep listening. And adding on that, she also start with the speech with an interesting fact and question. So what is the best time to get married to minimize the risk of divorce? Certainly many of us are very curious on the answer and what the message she will try to deliver. So that's the first strength. It's an good start, an interesting start to pick the interest of the audience. And then the second strength is, I think the message is very relatable to the audience, because most of the audience today is teenagers and they are very interested in dating. They are still young. So it's very, they would like to listen from the experienced one on how to handle the dating life in a healthy way and in a good way. So the last strength, which is a very important one, is that I think the speech is very rich in hand gesture, in very purposeful and engaging hand gesture. Like example, he's making phone call and she's sharing her true thought that she's going to the tennis lesson for the boys instead of the help is for her help. So I think she has certainly achieved the target of engaging humor because she has very rich hand gesture and is very humorous in delivering his message. So for the improvement, I have yet to think of any. I think the overall speech is very good. The structure, the message delivery is very inspirational. So I'm looking forward for your next speech. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Hong Jian, for making an interesting fourth evaluation speech. Now is the last evaluation speaker for today's session. Mauro, is Mauro in?
I don't think so. Maybe she's not able to join this time.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So we should call it a day. But before we call it a workshop, call it off for today. So Kian Ping, is the voting procedure ready to be done?
Yep, the poll is launched.
Okay, good. So remember to vote for the best evaluation speaker because the best evaluation speaker will get a prize. Yes. Okay, before I'm going to end my workshop for today, I'd like to make the credits to those who got involved with this workshop apart from me, of course. I need to share the screen. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. So, lastly, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you all for the time for attending today's workshop. Especially those who are expert in evaluation, I would really appreciate your help for your support. And next, I would like to credit to Evaluate to Motivate workshop organized by Falim Toastmasters Club, whom I attend to, and the test speaker for today's mini workshop, Pauline, who is the president of MySAS Toastmasters Club. Okay, you can call up to say how amazing her speech is, and all the participants of this mini workshop. 5 participants, even though Maru is not able to attend, but still thank you all for that. And audiences, all of you guys, thank you for coming. Now I'd like to hand the control back to Joshua. Joshua?
Thank you, Yu-Meng, for that wonderful evaluation workshop. Let's give Yu-Meng a round of applause again. And we also are quite happy to see our new members applying the technique that you just taught them, Yu-Meng, and they apply it effectively as well. And hopefully I can also apply the techniques that you have shared with us today in our future meetings as well. Now, before we have a short 2 to 3 minutes break, let's take a photo with everyone. So everyone, please turn on your cameras. Okay, make sure your hair is all tidy and straight. Make sure your collar is also looking good, having a nice smile face. Lighting okay, everyone? All right. Who's taking the photo again?
Me? I'll take the photo.
Okay, we're gonna take the photo.
Ready?
Yeah, ready.
3, 2, 1. All right. 1 more. 3, 2, 1. Funny pose. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you. Back to TME.
Thank you, Ming Kang. So let's have a short 2 to 3 minutes break, and then we will come back for the prepared speech session. So be back by 9:33. Yes.
Good job, all the first timer evaluations. Very good, very good.
Yeah, good job. That's all the first timers. Indeed, they surprised me in every way.
How is 𝐿𝐼𝐼 sound right now? Still soft?
Soft.
Do you want to take this time to fix it? Because you're having a speech later, right?
Yeah.
Quite worry.
Yeah, it's a bit soft in my place.
Hello, can you hear me?
Can, but like
Very soft.
20% volume. You know?
Yeah.
Do you want to try rejoin?
Is this better now?
Yeah, so much better.
Yes, perfect.
I found out where's the reason. Turns out my computer auto adjusts my microphone volume. How cute is that?
Smart.
Very smart. I don't like it.
All right, I think too fast. The break is up. Yeah, since we have time, we couldn't afford more breaks. So we wait for ASAA.
Minkan, can I ask what's the session right now?
Prepare speech.
Are we having a break?
Yeah, the break is over.
Okay, sure. Sorry.
All right, you can start you can resume meeting whenever you're ready.
ASAA, is it? Okay, so sorry, I'm confused. Okay, the break is over and we can now resume for the press session. So everyone have time for your toilet break just now. So now let's resume to the next session of the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster briefing.
Thank you, ASA Kenteng. So now we shall move on to our prepared speech session with our first speaker, 𝐿𝐼𝐼, doing level 1 evaluation and feedback. May I invite his evaluator, 𝐂𝐿𝐼𝐼, to read the evaluator notes?
Yeah. Hello, good evening, Toastmaster of the evening, Joshua and everyone. So today I'm the evaluator of 𝐿𝐼𝐼, and the purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. Besides, the purpose of this speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. And back to you, TME.
Thank you, 𝐂𝐿𝐼𝐼. Next, I would like to invite the general evaluator to read the notes for the evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the evening. It's the same note to the test speaker earlier. If you know you will be the evaluator ahead of meeting, communicate with the speaker to learn about them and their goals for their first evaluation and feedback project speech. Be sure to set aside enough time for your schedule to meet with the speaker after the speech to review the evaluation, answer any question they may have. The member have spent time writing a speech to present at the club meeting. About this speech, the member will deliver a well-organized speech on any topic. Focus on the member's speaking style. Be sure to recommend improvement that the member can apply to the next speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style that the member chooses. The member will ask you to evaluate their second speech at a future meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Without further ado, I would like to call up 𝐿𝐼𝐼 to give his speech from Egypt to Rome, from Egypt to Rome, 𝐿𝐼𝐼. 𝐿𝐼𝐼, the floor is yours. 𝐿𝐼𝐼, I think you are muted.
Oh, muted. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So can anyone hear me right now? Can any of you guys hear me right now?
I can. Yes.
Great. So fellow Toastmasters, guests, ladies and gentlemen, today I like to talk about something that all of us take technology which we took it for granted. So that is one of the things that we always do all the time. It's something we read all the time. We look in the books, the words, and likewise, it's something we always do every time we WhatsApp to our friends. So today, what I like to do is talk, for today's speech, I like to talk about the history on the technology we took for granted, which is the alphabets, the literal A to Z's of our lives, alphabets. So alphabets are quite interesting, isn't it? We learn it since young. Everyone learning since kindergarten or before kindergarten, or some of them learn during the primary schools. It's quite interesting why it looks like this, right? After all, have you ever asked yourself this question, that why you and we look similar and sound similar? After all, oo and vu, it sounds relatively similar. However, as for letters like O and Q, the O sounds totally different from the letter Q, which sounds more like K, not even a vowel. Why does it look similar? Likewise, you may argue that D and T, they do sound similar. After all, you didn't really move your tongue and your mouth when you say do and to. The only difference is that you put this on the throat to feel the difference of the vibration on your throat. So for D, you feel the vibration on the throat. As for T, you don't feel much of the vibration on the throat. That's the only difference. But why on earth it looks so different? D and T look so different, but they sound similar. O and Q look similar, but sound different. So today, I'm happy to share with you guys the history of alphabets we are using right now, the Latin alphabets. So let's go to France 17,000 years ago. So this is actually a very interesting image from the cave discovered by some wandering guy, ended up in France, walking inside and turned on lights. Oh, very interesting, lots of artwork by the prehistoric men and women back then. So what do you see here? Oh, I see a bison, great. I see a man, okay, on the left-hand side, and a cute little bird at the bottom left corner. Nice, interesting. So what does it convey? What message does it convey here? Doesn't make it's open up to our interpretation, right? It could mean the bison killed a man. After all, you can see the horns is attacking a man. Maybe he was killed, injured by a man, or maybe the bison is dead and the man is trying to figure out how to cut it. Something like that. Well, anything is possible. So back then, people drew images to show what they're doing, but it doesn't tell us what they're doing, because back then nobody ever writes a language before that. Writing didn't exist 17,000 years ago. In fact, we don't even know what they're doing. Okay, I can say the bison killed the man, or it could mean the man is eating the bison, or anything else. Is up to our interpretation. So in these are called pictograms, and they are just image to show that, oh, there was bison there was a man there, and there was a bird there in the cave, something like that. But it doesn't tell us everything about it. So it doesn't likewise, they don't tell us about our emotions and our expressions during the prehistoric times. So, however, things has gone as time goes on, these pictures will start to encode sounds which humans make. For example, we call bison. So we say, oh, the image is bison. So when this is going to happen is something is going to start in the next slide, which we're going to discuss later on. So now here is the fun game here. So the following images read out a sentence. What does it mean? So who wants to give it a good guess? Come on, It's a very interesting word here. It's a phrase. Hi, Cow. Want to guess? Make a good guess.
Oh, I don't need a guess. It's to be or not to be.
Oh,
That
well
is the
done.
question.
Yes, to be or not to be. That is a good question. Well done. Well done, 𝐿 for guessing it right. I don't need to give the hint from Shakespeare. It's quite interesting. So how does this image tell us that to be or not to be? How? Have you ever asked why this has to be read this way? Why it shouldn't be in the other way? It's just a bunch of incoherent pictures. It doesn't, why it has this kind of sound right now. Yeah. So this is what we call rebus. And this is what we mean by rebus. So basically we use pictures to depict the word or phrases. So instead of looking at the word to, we can mean the number 2, it could mean to be as in to, to. So you just use the homophones, the same sound for number 2 to indicate that. Okay, so the picture itself may not just represent the meaning of the word, but represents other words which sound similar to it. So likewise, we can see the original meaning will be be, and D could also mean that other words like be to be or not to be the be, or some people like to say in a nice way, oh baby, be, or letter B itself. So now we can ask this question: how are we going to distinguish when we're going to convey a message here? You could mean, oh, if you want to write a document using all these images, you can say, okay, I can put the word be here. Then you could mix up, you could create misunderstanding. We don't know which image used for image used to indicate which meaning. So it will confuse everyone and it is not good. It creates misunderstanding. So a way to do so back then humans did is they create something called determinatives. So what they do is that they add additional symbols next to the word, showing the meaning of the word itself. So this is a very interesting one because some Chinese characters do that. So but you can see horse originally will have this sound here. So in Mandarin Chinese, we have other words that sounds like a horse. I mean, the word ma. So what we're going to distinguish them? Well, add some characters next to it. Then we add a female character on the mother. So the left-hand side indicates a female. As for N, we add this character here to show that it is an insect. So by doing this, we can tell the difference, and especially in writing in legal documents or informal occasions, it makes sense. So now we're going to start talking about something interesting we call hieroglyphs. So this is a very interesting scene here from Book of the Dead, where those people are being judged on whether to be live in the afterlife or not in the afterlife. So how to read hieroglyphs first and foremost. So like in the Chinese characters, each symbol may indicate its meaning or part of its sound. So like Chinese characters, they do the same thing. So you can either read this original meaning of the word, or it could be just the sound of the word itself. So for the left-hand side, you can see this is a very nice image for the house. Yeah, Egyptian house is just a block. Very interesting. So you just put a left vertical stroke to say, oh, it's a house. We just put a stroke here. As for the sound reading, we don't put a stroke anymore. We just say, okay, this just take the P sound, this take the R sound, this bottom left corner take the R sound. Then the one on the walking symbol here tells you, oh, it's time to, it means that you are doing something. It's a motion, it's a determinative. It means to go out. So later on, people start to learn to write Egyptians, and likewise, miners also are keen to learn to write. But the thing about these miners is that they are not Egyptians, they are just miners. They are just working on behalf of their masters. So what they do is that they want to convey a message to their fellow miners, and they think—
You mean the time is already late, so you may consider the wrap out.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially what they do right now is that miners do so by writing all these simplified hieroglyphics, and at the same time they remove the need to distinguish meaning reading and sound reading by just, okay, I take the symbol for the sound, that's it. And that is how the alphabet was started. So from the time of miners writing system, it develops to what we know as phonitions, which you can see here. And that is when the phonitions come into play. And finally, Greeks realized, oh, it's nice to write something nice. I want to borrow from the Egyptian Phoenicians. And lastly, the Romans has grown into a big empire and just, oh, I like to learn from the Romans, from the Greeks, and just take the alphabets from them. And that is how we ended up the alphabets we have for today. And finally, here's some reference, and thank you guys for listening to my speech. And back to you, Toastmaster Evening.
Thank you, Yu-Ming, for that wonderful speech. Wow, so we really should appreciate our alphabets, or else right now we'll be drawing pictures because I don't like drawing. And if we draw pictures, we might not understand what we are writing to each other. So thank you, Yu-Ming, once again to show us and tell us the importance of alphabets, and we should really appreciate it, especially when writing our own script. Moving on, we shall have our next. Yu-Ming, can you unshare your screen for a while? Oh, it's okay, it's okay. All right, on our next speaker, we would have Ming Kang to deliver his level 3 using presentation software. Before that, I'd like to invite his evaluator, Alicia, to read out the evaluator notes.
Hey, sorry, the evaluator is Toastmaster Hasmil.
Oh, sorry. Toastmaster Hasmil, would you read out the evaluator notes?
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Evening. I am the evaluator as well as general evaluator, so I'm going to read both the statements. So Ming Kang, the purpose statement for your project is for you to introduce or review basic presentation software strategies for creating and using slides to support or enhance a speech. The purpose of this speech is for you to demonstrate your understanding of how to use presentation software, including the creation of slides and incorporating the technology into a speech. I'm going to read the notes for myself, the evaluator. During the completion of this project, the member reviewed or learned about presentation software and the most effective methods for developing clear, comprehensive, enhancing slides. About the speech, the member will deliver a well-organized speech on any topic. The topic should lend itself well to using presentation software. Watch for clear, legible, and effective slides that enhance the speech and the topic. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech should not be a report on the content of the using presentation software project. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Evening.
Thank you to both our evaluator and general evaluator for reading out the evaluator notes. Now, I would like to invite Ming Kang to deliver his speech. A day in life has DCIM. A day in life has DCIM. Ming Kang, the floor is yours.
Just want to check if you guys could see my screen.
I can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Taking photos has been easier than ever before, thanks to the ever improving smartphones cameras. But have you ever wondered what happened behind the scene the moment you hit the camera shutter? Let's find out together. In these presentations, I'm going to show you what's actually happening when you're taking a photo with your smartphone's camera. So imagine this. It's a lovely afternoon. You're walking in a park. You come across these very beautiful flowers and you say, wow, look at that. It's so nice and it's a waste not to take a photo of it, right? So you pick up your phones, you point to the flowers, and you hit the shutter button, kacha, and the journey begins. Wait. Before this, let me introduce you some of the family members in your phone's camera. We have Mr. Image Signal Processor. Here we call it as Mr. ISP. We have Mr. Light, Mr. Lens, Mr. Shutter, Mr. Electrons and Mr. Sensors. You're going to see it later. So Mr. Lights from flowers, from the grass, from the roses, they're all rushing eagerly. Mr. Lights, with the speed of light, very fast. It's like, you know, people rushing for limited editions in Nike and Adidas. Mr. Light rushing towards the camera. And Mr. Light shout, "Let us in, let us in." And here comes Mr. Lens. Please, Lila, my friends, don't you learn queuing is cool, Mr. Light? So Mr. Lens helps Mr. Light to line up before going into the camera. Head to head, toe to toe, never mix and never wrong. Mr. Lens focused the incoming light into the camera. Let us in, let us in. We all line up and we are good. Mr. Light say this again. And here comes Mr. Shuttle, the black guy, opening the gate for Mr. Lights to go into the camera. Open the gate. First batch in, check the image. It's too dark. More light, please. Second batch in, check the image. Still too dark. More light, please. Third batch in, check the image. Seems pretty good. Close the gate, close the gate. The image is bright enough. So Mr. Shutter shuts the gate to prevent more lights from coming in and overexpose the image. Close it. Mr. Sensor is waiting inside. We're coming for you, Mr. Photons. Come, come, come and excite me. Now, Mr. Sensor is not alone. It comprises of millions of Mr. Green sensors, Mr. Blue sensors, and Mr. Red sensors. Only green light can excite me, say Mr. Green sensor. And Mr. Blue sensor say, only blue light can excite me. Mr. Red sensor say, only red light can excite me. How about other colors? Sorry, we don't care. 3 colors are enough to produce all other colors by mixing. Coming in, coming in. Again, too fast. With the speed of light, Mr. Lights charge towards Mr. Sensors. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Look at the electrons reproducing. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Mr. Lights collide and interact with Mr. Sensor to produce Mr. Electrons. Mr. Light, you have good skills. I enjoy the service. Now we let Mr. Electrons to take care of the rest. Mr. Electrons are very, very excited. Information, information. My brain is full of information. I can't wait to report to my boss. They rush towards Mr. ISP. Reporting Mr. ISP. Blue is present, said the first electron. Reporting Mr. ISP. Red, green is present, say the second electron. Reporting Mr. ISP. Red is present, said the third electron. And one after another, Mr. Electrons report to Mr. ISP, completing the puzzles of image taken. Okay, so Mr. ISP is now having a meeting with his members. Now that we have got this image, what are we supposed to do? Fill in other colors, fill in other colors, say Mr. 𝐷𝐸𝐸𝐻. We only have red, blue, and green in this image. We have to fill in other colors. Mr. 𝐷𝐸𝐸𝐻 fills in the missing color in the image by clever algorithms based on the surrounding colors. Denoise, denoise. Mr. Noise helps to remove noise from the image, makes it clearer. Lastly, sharpen, sharpen. Mr. Sharp suggests to make the image clearer by sharpening it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have done everything necessary on this image. Let's save it at DCIM 0001. Let's put it into a folder named DCIM. But What does DCIM mean? Asked Mr. Electron. Digital camera image, my dear, is a common name given to photos taken by digital cameras like DSLR, like your mirrorless, like your smartphone's camera, DCIM. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how an image is taken with a phone's camera. As you can see in this slide, taking a photo seems pretty easy on the surface, just a camera shutter lah. But a lot of processes are being done in the back that we actually don't know. We have to appreciate the people who made all this possible. And the one way to appreciate is to understand their work. This, hopefully, the presentations that I'm giving today helps you to understand their work. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a day in life as a DCIM, as a digital camera image. Thank you.
Thank you, Ming Tang, for sharing with us how the cameras taking picture process is like. And it was simple yet easy for us to follow and understand at the same time. Well done on that. And I think that is the end for our prepared speech session. I shall now pass the floor to our general evaluator to conduct the next session, which is the evaluation session. But before that, remember to vote for the best speakers. So, general evaluator, you may take the stage.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster of the evening. Thank you again for having me. So it's time for the evaluation, and that will be the theme for this meeting itself. A lot of things, a lot about evaluation. So we're gonna hear the evaluation for evaluation first, and then I will be calling upon speech evaluators. And the third part of the evaluation segment is where I'm going to call the role players to give evaluations on elements of this meeting, the grammarian, the R counter, and the timer. So we will start first, a very special role, which is evaluator for the evaluator, which is Alicia Kang, who will evaluate all the evaluators for the test speaker earlier. Over to you, Alicia.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone. Now, can we just turn on our mic and give all this first-time evaluator a round of applause? All these are amazing first-time evaluator. I couldn't believe they are first-timer. Right. Now, first evaluator, Daryl. Daryl, you amazed me with your very first evaluation. You almost fulfill all the criteria how to evaluate from Toastmasters Ming Chong, sorry, Toastmasters Ming, right? Ming, the short session just now. You even give a summary at the end of your evaluation, Daryl. You did it very well, most of the criteria. And in terms of delivery, I would like to give you some suggestions so that you can bring your evaluation to the next level. Here, the first thing that I realized that you use a negative words over there, weakness, to improve your weaknesses. These weaknesses, these words is a bit negative. I would suggest you consider to replace it with in terms of improvement. I think that would be better. Number two, to challenge yourself to practice hand gesture in your next speech. I believe with the hand gesture, you will engage the audience with you, Daryl, and the second speaker, Alvin. Alvin, congratulations to you have given your first evaluation. I could understand your evaluation very well. You summarize the speaker's story with a very good transition. And in terms of improvement, I would like to give you some golden nuggets over here. There are 3. You may consider to take note of the I statement when you evaluate. Just now the evaluation, you mentioned a lot of you, so consider to change the you to I. Number 2, do not ask the speaker, as our Toastmasters Yu-Ming said just now, do not ask the speaker on what she prefers on the evaluation. That will take up much time from you, to give a value point to the speaker. Number 3, to prevent taking too much time, you do not need to mention before I start my evaluation. You mentioned that phrase, I think 3 times. So with that, you do not need to mention. I believe you will have more time to evaluate. The third speaker, we have the third speaker is Sing Ping. Well done, Sing Ping. I really like your evaluation. You do not, I mean, you are not, for me, I don't think you are the first timer. Your transition, your story was well crafted. Even you came out with the slide, and the slide will make the audience engage with the audience and know the point that you want to phrase and evaluate very vividly and very clear. And next, you use the 3 C's. This is the acronym. It is really good for me to understand your message to the speaker: composed, colorful, and cute. In terms of improvement, I would suggest, in fact, I hope to hear more from you, or in terms of improvement for the speaker. And actually, there are some things like and the second point is, I couldn't see your hand gesture. Perhaps to challenge yourself, your next speech, you can practice your hand gesture and also your vocal variety. Even though you give a very captivating story on the transition of the speaker, but here I would like you to consider these three points that I give it to you to give more feedback to the speaker, and consider your hands gesture to challenge yourself with your vocal variety. The last speaker, we have Hong Jen. Hong Jen, well done. I understand your evaluation. Your evaluation was so special. You talk about the title. The title, where is he, to tie in with the story. And that is a very good point that you have brought up. Here in terms, and you talk about humor. She injected humor into her speech. And in terms of improvement, I would like you to take these 2 golden nuggets to bring your speech to the next level. You may consider to reposition yourself to step backward a bit, or give more distance from the screen and yourself, so that I can see you more with your hand gesture. That with your hand gestures, I can connect with you more. And the vocal variety, to challenge yourself in your next evaluation, you may consider to have more vocal variety, because I personally feel that is a bit monotonous, the evaluation that you gave just now. And work on the summary. I look forward to hear from you, all of you, in the future. Thank you. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Alicia, for that wonderful evaluation for each and every speaker that we have, or should I say for evaluators that we had earlier. I like the way you start the evaluation with an encouragement. You ask everybody to unmute and give an applause, knowing that all these evaluators that we have are first-timers, and they do need encouragement. I don't know how nervous they were during the evaluation, but they look very calm and very confident. You started off also with words, very motivating words like amazing, you impressed me. So I think a good opening of your evaluation. I like the fact that you were able to pick golden nuggets. Either it's a critique or it's something that they did well in every aspect of the evaluation. I took down notes while they were evaluating, and I think most of it matches with mine. The word weakness is definitely negative words. If we want to use suggestion or improvement areas. So that's something that is good. Don't say that I will, before I evaluate, that was repeated several times. You were able to pick up all these evaluation notes for me. On one thing that I wanted to point out, I think for evaluator number 4, the title, I think the good thing that she did was the 3C. No, that was the speaker number 3. The 3C, but that was not the only 3. She have got 7 strengths that she pointed out. So to me, that was too many for an evaluation. But the 3C definitely is a keep for people to keep using. Acronyms, the short forms are always a good thing for people to remember. So well done on evaluation. You also summarize at the end to give encouragement, looking forward to hear more from you and the encouragement words. So Alicia, I think you did a very good job in evaluating the speakers or evaluators today. Thank you very much. The next evaluator that I would like to call upon is speech evaluator, and that will be for Yu-Ming's presentation. I would like to call upon Shao Tian to evaluate Yu-Ming's speech earlier. Over to you, Shao Tian.
Thank you, Mr. G, and good evening, everyone. All right, first of all, congratulations, Yu-Ming, for making this technical topic so accessible to the audiences. So firstly, you have succeeded to create an attractive PowerPoint to connect with your audience and make your content so immersive. And besides, I realize you are a good storyteller as you are humorous and you are able to simplify complicated elements such as the pictograms easily to make the audience feel understandable. And besides, I realize you are an engaging speaker as you play games with the audiences and enable for them to remain their attractions with you all the time. And at the other hand, for improvement, firstly, I think you can avoid like touching your head, your neck, because I think that this may distract the attention of your audience on your speech. And secondly, I think you can replace touching the head and your neck with a proper hand gesture, like pointing at the PowerPoint or the laptop, so that the audiences will be more concentrated on your speeches. And besides, I realized that you spoke over time, and in this case, I hope you can organize your speech well. And in this case, yeah, you can control the flow of the speech and try to simplify the overall presentation. And next, by fully utilize your PowerPoint, I believe that you can fill up the blank in your PowerPoint by using pretty decorations so that there is not a lot of blank in your PowerPoint. And I think this will enhance your overall presentations. And to challenge yourself, firstly, okay, you may try to explain professional knowledge in layman terms because your topic is so technical, and I believe some of the audience are not so well or are not so familiar with this topic. So explain your topic in a layman terms will help them to more understand about the topic. And next, you can try to explain the impacts of these ancient words or artifacts such as the pictograms, like how they can bring positive influence to the human civilizations and how they can enlighten the overall human wisdom and to lead them to create a better world. And in the summary, overall, your speech is very well, but the only thing you need to carry on or to handle well is to present your speech within a period of time. And I think that's all from me, and back to you, Mr. GE. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shatian, for that evaluation. I am conscious of time, so I'm going to cut short a little bit, but I don't want to miss out on some of the good things that Shatians have already delivered in the evaluation. I think you have all the elements that Yu Ming was presented earlier in the workshop. You have clear definition or clear points on the strength. If I were the speaker, I was able to pick that up and work on it. The improvement part was not very clear, and I would recommend that you summarize your evaluation with point form. Strength, 1, 2, 3. Improvement areas, 1, 2. Overall, well done. So that would be a better conclusion. But otherwise, you've got all the other elements. You've got your hand gestures, your vocal variety a little bit, and you are able to pick up a lot of analytics. If this was a contest, you have won a lot of points in analytics. Good points. All right. The next evaluator is myself, which will be for Ming Kang. So I'm going to go straight into that. Ming Kang, thank you very much for delivering a wonderful speech. The Day in the Life of DCIM. That title triggered my curiosity. What are you going to talk about? Number one, I am at this generation. I don't know whether DCIM is a well-known term, but I don't know what it is. Not well-known. Okay, so I'm not alone. So DCIM, now after your speech, now I understand what is it. It's digital, what was it again? It's digital image, digital camera image. Now I understand. So there's a few things that I like about your speech. You start with asking questions. That is a powerful rhetorical device to capture audience attention when you ask a question. You also start off with storytelling. A beautiful evening day, you found a flower, you want an image in our mind before you present what you wanted to present. I also like the fact that you give names to these elements. Otherwise, it would be a jargon that I'm trying to imagine what are you talking about. But when you put Mr. and Miss and you differentiate your vocal variety, this device sound differently, that device sounds differently, and then you have got that conversation among the devices. That was extremely well done. I couldn't have done it better than myself. So those are your strengths. I also like the fact that you end with a powerful conclusion. And why I say it's powerful, because you end it by tying back to the title. So that's something that I can take away for myself. If I'm presenting at the end, I would like to tie back to the title. So well done on doing that. In terms of improvement areas, I think the slides were too pictorial. I was struggling a bit in the middle of your presentation to keep up with what are you talking about. Again, maybe I'm not very familiar with some of the jargons and some of the workings of the camera. I was able to follow, but not fast enough. I would recommend if you put some wordings, Not too heavy, but some wordings just to make sure that I'm following what you are saying. Otherwise, I think your presentation was very, very well done. I would imagine if you are doing it in a face-to-face presentation, that would be a different presentation, because people would like to focus either on you or on the slides. So you need to decide. But in a virtual environment, that works very well. So you picked a very good topic, you pick a very good storyline that you want to tell, and you were able to deliver very well in your evaluation. So thank you very much for that speech. Looking forward for your next speech. All right. So that was me giving the evaluation for the second speaker, Min Kang. I'm going to go straight to my evaluation, and I'm going to cut it short to make sure that we don't take too much time. I want to start with, I'm supposed to give the role players, right? So I'm going to reverse one step back for the role players to give their report. I would like to call upon Kian Ting as the grammarian to give his report. Over to you, Kian Ting.
Thank you, Asmil, our general evaluator for today's meeting. So for the grammarian report, let me share my browser tab. Okay, as you all can see over here, this is the grammarian report for University Malaya Toastmaster Club meeting 338. So for the good quote, for today's meeting, I do not manage to detect any incorrect pronunciation. Well done, everyone. And for the word of the day, reckon, I think just one person used it, that is me. I use it twice when I'm explaining the word of the day. Otherwise, I couldn't detect any one of you using it. So for the good quotes, phrases, and words that I like in today's meeting, there are a few. First of all, from Human, liaise, which means cooperate on a matter of mutual concern. And then again from Human, there's a phrase, there's will, there's way. And then from Pauline, don't believe in superstitions. And then Human and Carl both said it, to be or not to be, a quote from Shakespeare. And Human, again, in his speech, this is kind of technical and jargon, paragraphics, which means a stylized picture of an object representing a word, syllable, or sound as found in ancient Egyptian and certain other writing systems. And finally, from Asmil, rhetorical devices, which means piece of words that are used to influence the audience. Okay, and for today, improper grammatical usage, I managed to detect two. First, at the other hand, it should be on the other hand. By fully utilized should be by fully utilizing. And that's it for my grammarian report from the grammarian. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Grammarian Kian Ting, for that report. I'm going to move swiftly to the R counter. Zhao Tong, over to you for your report.
Okay, allow me to share my screen. So this is my R counter report for evaluation workshop speaker, Yuming. Total have 39 of filler words. The highest is the filler words of And the second one, we have our test speaker, Pauline, 1 filler word spotted. And moving to our evaluators, first one, Daryl, have 4 filler words. Alvin, total of 29 filler words, with is the highest usage of filler words. And Xingping, total have 9. Hongjian, 6. And the next one is our assignment speaker. The first one, you may have a total of 8 filler words. Min Kang, congratulations, there's no filler words spotted. And the last one, speech evaluators, the first speaker, Alicia Kang, total have 5 filler words. Second one, Shao Tian, 2 filler words. Asmil, total of 8 filler words. And overall, the most use of filler words is the word So moving forwards in our meeting, we can try to reduce the filler words of and also other words. Thank you. Back to you, GE.
Thank you very much, Zhao Tong, on the evaluation. I think is something that I use a lot. I always get nervous when R counter give report because I used to have 32, 34. So thank you very much for that evaluation for the R counter. I would like to go now to the timers report. CJ.
Yes. Okay, thank you, 𝐷𝐸𝐻. Okay, for the first session, which the evaluation, Pauline, your waiting time 6:59 seconds, 6 minutes and 59 seconds. For Derry, within time, all of our evaluators are within time. Congrats to all of you. And for evaluators, evaluator Alisha, you have 7 minutes and 6 seconds is not within time. And for the normal assignment speaker, Yumin, you have 10 minutes and 10 seconds not within time. And Minkang, 7 minutes and 11 seconds, yes, within time. For our prepared speech evaluator, we have Xiaotian, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, yes, within time, and Asmil, 3 minutes and 10 seconds, and within time. Well, back to you, 𝐷𝐸.
Thank you, CJ, for keeping the track of our time. All right, so now it's time for my general evaluator evaluation. I think the most takeaway from this session today is the evaluation segment, which was the workshop earlier. I just want to give a shout out to Yu-Ming. I think you have put a lot of effort, a lot of thought into that. You have delivered something very useful, especially for those who have not done evaluation before. I would encourage a little bit more interaction in that workshop to understand what are the challenges that an evaluator, especially a new evaluator, could face. That is an opportunity for you to interact rather than giving the notes. But I think the notes was very, very useful. The second feedback that I can give is maybe tie your presentation or tie your content of your module to the contest, the evaluation contest for Toastmasters. I would be interested to understand what gives the most points. So in other words, Toastmasters have designed this analytics to be the most, and that's where you score points, because that is the most important element in an evaluation. So your grammar, your vocal variety is lesser points than your analytics. So spend time a little bit on crafting your evaluation. And there's also some points for summary. And the reason why Toastmasters have got points for summary is because that's how a speaker will take away golden nuggets. You can talk, you can evaluate for 10 minutes. The last 3 minutes is where you summarize, and that's the point that the evaluator or the speaker will take away from. So I think all in all, the workshop was very useful, very good, well delivered, well thought of. The slides you prepared was very easy to follow, not too heavy. So I think you may deserve a recognition by itself on that. Other than that, to cut my evaluation short, I think the delay at the beginning of the session where people are not able to join, that is not unusual. That happens sometimes. I would recommend follow up a day before, just to make sure that everybody is able to make it for this meeting. If there is any withdrawal, at least you've got 1 day, 24 hours to find a replacement and all that. But otherwise, I think Minkang and Yu-Ming and the excos are able to handle the delay a little bit and was able to still continue with the meeting today. All in all, I enjoyed. I'm glad that I was able to make it for this session because I did learn something from this session itself. So thank you again for having me. Thank you for listening. And back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for your feedback to not just our club, but also to the evaluators and speakers as well. Thank you, and we would continue to improve ourselves in the future as well. And now is for our award and presentation session. I think, has everyone voted for your best evaluator? I think there's 6.
Do we send you privately our vote?
Yeah.
All right, please send your vote to Joshua privately. Sorry.
Right. Okay, is there any more votes? I will count from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the voting will be closed right now. Let me share the screen. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
So now we have finally reached the award and appreciation presentation. First off, we would like to share the award for the best evaluator during the evaluation workshop. So who is the best evaluator? Drum roll, please. And the award goes to Xingping as the best evaluator during the evaluation workshop. Congratulations. Xingping, would you like to turn on your camera to take a group photo? I mean, take a photo. Sorry. I think she's not there, but nonetheless, congratulations. Oops, I mean, no, that's too quick. Okay, the best speaker award goes to drum rolls, please. And the winner goes, the best speaker goes to Ming Tang. Congratulations, Ming Tang. And let's take a picture. Ready?
All right.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, cheese. 3, 2, 1, cheese. Okay, thank you. And next will be the Best Evaluator Award during the evaluation session, which goes to, drumroll please, goes to Asmil. Congratulations, Asmil, for being the best evaluator. And also has a certificate of appreciation to you as the general evaluator. So let's take Asmil, one for being the best evaluator and one for the general evaluator.
My hair okay or not? Just kidding.
It'll come a bit messy. Three, two, one.
I think I'm a bit late.
Yeah, I will have to take a photo. So Asmia, for the GE appreciation, Joshua.
Okay.
All right, Asmia, 3, 2, 1. Right. Thank you.
And that is all for our award and appreciation session. So now I will pass the control back to our president, Ming Tang.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying up late, 10:32 for this wonderful meeting. I really appreciate, especially to role players helping us today to make this mini evaluation workshop possible. I want to thank all the participants, Daryl, Xingping, Amaro, Alvin and Hongjian, also making this mini evaluation workshop possible. I hope all of you, 18 of you, will take this, you will take something back home from this meeting, especially some things on the evaluations. I'd like to shout out to, again, Toastmaster, my fellow VPE Yu-Ming, for making all this possible. Everything from crafting, listen to the workshop alone and take back the things and do a workshop for us. It's a wonderful thing, and let's give a round of applause to Yu-Ming, making these wonderful sessions possible. All right, I wish all of you have a good night, and remember our next meeting announcement. Our next meeting will be on 22nd of August, which is 2 weeks from now, and I would like to see all of you again for our meeting. Since we are a bit over time, I will just call this meeting adjourned. Thanks for coming. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Sautin, for the
For external role
evaluation.
players, if you have
Yeah,
any
welcome.
invitations on your meetings, from your clubs, feel free to share to me
share
so I can share to my clubs. Yeah.
Hey, sure. We have guys
Bye.
meeting in this upcoming Wednesday. Yeah, you're free to join.
Yeah, send me the details. I'll share the club.
When other
Yeah.
than this coming Wednesday, when is the next one? Because I may not able to make it for these 2 weeks.
I think
After
it'll be on, let me check the date.
24th.
24th, yes.
I go.
24th.
I think I will stay. I will be attending on the 24th. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
Looking forward to see you.
Right. Thanks, everyone. Sorry for the
you.
delay. I think we delayed by 10 minutes, but we were able to finish
On
2 minutes.
almost
over
on time.
I also
Within
like
5
to thank
minutes.
Timer, Sujie, thanks for all the cooperations you made. Because
No,
I think
I'm
I
very sorry.
messaged
I
him.
just came back from office.
I
Yeah,
messaged
very
him a
sorry.
lot.
Yeah.
Like, please help me to make this meeting end early.
No issue lah. You tell me what role, you name what role, I will be there.
Right.
Oh.
Wow. I heard this.
Yeah, he told me any role possible. So I just asked. I just shoot Timer. He said okay.
Wow, good job. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you. Thank
No,
you.
at all.
Especially thanks, Alicia, again. Like, well, if you ask me to evaluate 5 new timers evaluators one shot, oh my God, how am I going to do this?
First time, doing this. Normally, we evaluate topics.
Table topics.
Table topics.
It's hard enough.
Yeah, it is quite fun today. Yeah, it's something special. So I learned something also. Thank you for inviting. Thank you, Yu-Ming.
Thank you so much for coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye-bye. I
Bye-bye.
believe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Chao Tong, Xie, Joshua.
Thanks, Joshua,
Bye.
asking you to take
Bye.
TME, and you say, okay, no problem. Straight away, yes.
I mean, I also kind of like to do TME stuff as well sometimes.
Wow, good to hear. So, you heard that. If you couldn't find TME, you'll find Joshua. No, just kidding. Anyway,
I see. Okay.
You guys free for a short post-mortem, or you guys want to do it another time?
Now I'm fine now.
I think it's okay. It's okay. Now it's okay.
Let me send a message first. Post-mortem now. Same link. Please join if you are free and able to. Okay. First of all, very good job on the mini evaluation workshop. Very smooth.
I don't know how much time you use,
Okay.
I can't see the timer, everything, I
Okay.
also didn't get the report I deserve apart from the project speech that is obvious that one should be done.
I wanna focus on this regarding timing issue. First of all, Toastmasters, we're very strict on timing. So at the same time, we try not to interrupt speakers. the reason why 𝐘𝐲𝐻 is interrupting you and me and other speakers who were over time is because I asked them to. I asked him to do so. Otherwise, our meeting will still be ongoing. To be honest with you, all of you lah.
Okay.
This is something I want to stress about, which is timing. It's okay if you. There are two things we have to know regarding this timing. The first is to always be alert of the timer, because timer is there for us to take note of the time. So if you couldn't see, it's speaker's responsibility to see the timer clearly. So just if you couldn't see, just raise up your hand and comment lah. I couldn't see timer. Please let me to see the timer, and we'll do whatever we can to have the timer either raise hand lah, spotlight to make sure the speaker really see timer, because timing is very important. And second thing to improve on timing is to do a rehearse. I'm not sure if Joshua, Yu-Ming, I think Joshua is okay lah, TME. But Yu-Ming, have you done a rehearse for your speech and your workshop?
I don't think I do much of the rehearsal lah, fortunately. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Speak from my experience, it's important to do rehearse to ensure that, to identify the duration you will spend during your regarding your speech. Joshua, any things to comment on this?
You mean the timing? Timing, for me is also kind of like first time seeing the timer stopping the speakers, like when the time go over, because usually I think for me I would always let the speaker speak finish. So maybe because today also we started late and we want to end on time as well, so I guess that's why. But it's also a good initiative, I think, because in a way it also helps to train us to follow the time limit, keep in our time limit as well. And also one more thing I like to add on is I think I didn't check the award presentation slide properly before the meeting, because just now before I want to present, I realized that we forgot to add the award appreciation slide and also like a transition slide like that before showing the certificate.
Okay. Anything to comment, Iman, about today's
no comment so far. So in short, I have to do rehearsals more proper lah, because I do a bit only. That's the problem.
At least one rehearsal should be.
And the funny thing about me when I do speeches is that sometimes I always like to say things off script, which is quite funny of me.
It's a skill that we all like to learn, off script. Then you said it so smooth. Look at that. When I off script,
we add more things. Then turns out 5 minutes should have passed. I also like, oh dear.
So one more thing. Three of us, the trio in our club, we have the power to ask role players to modify things. For example, just now I asked, okay, for the benefit of meetings and clubs, because just now I asked timer to interrupt speakers. That's my command lah. I asked him to do so. Because if external role players, they will be super conservative, because maybe the first timer, they are not members of this club. Sometimes they wouldn't consider the overall meeting or overall club benefits. So over time, if I go to another club and I see overtime, what would I do? Just go on lah. I will just spend my time allocated. I don't care about the overtime for that club. It's not my club. So for three of us, we care our club and we care about every meetings. We remember we want to make it a quality meeting, and one of the aspects of quality meeting is, of course, the timing. So when you that's always I do lah. I consider the benefits of meetings and overall club performance. So sometimes I will ask, hey, just now I asked Asmir to cut short the message is very funny. I texted like, okay, Asmir, we are 15 minutes over time. I really don't want to say this, but can you please make your session shorter, even though, you know, you don't really have to do this, but I just hope our meetings could end on time. So being VPE, VPM, we presidents, we can do this.
Is there a limit on what we do and what we should not do?
I'm not sure about this. As long as it's for the benefit of meetings and clubs, and it's not like overly doing. For example, you want to ask Grammarian, hey, your report is like shit. I don't want to. When it's, as long as it's not that bad, then it's okay lah. You can ask GE, especially you can ask GE to reduce their time on evaluations, because GE, they tend to speak more.
Yeah, because APU, the GE talk a lot one. Sometimes I don't get the idea lah. Forgive me for not understanding the Toastmaster culture. Sometimes I heard speech like 12 minutes long and then we just go on like that. So sometimes this happens, sometimes don't happen. So like, okay, I have no idea what is right or wrong at this point.
So you can ask GE to reduce their time. You can ask TME. I also asked Joshua like, yeah, just don't give a rest lah. Don't give a break time, because you know online settings, if I want to have a break, I just
turn off the camera and go.
Yeah. We don't need. We need, but then we couldn't afford it just now. So so
the funny thing about Asmil said, just forgot, I just want to raise up, because Asmil said I have to get a confirmation 24 hours before. The thing is that 24 hours before, I sent all the messages about the invitation. Everyone said okay. Then they never say about, I'm sorry, I'm late. Like especially CJ, he didn't say until I called him, then he said, oh, I just got back home.
Oh, this thing have to remind you, Ming. Have you sent like reminders to role players to yesterday?
Yeah, I sent the agenda, everything to them. Yeah.
Then it's their fault lah, not coming.
I sent to them yesterday, then they said they're okay, you know.
Have you sent to Jason?
No, I didn't, because I don't have. I thought you sent it on his behalf. Yeah, because I thought you liaised with him. So
this is one of the issue lah. I thought and you thought. Sometimes I encourage all of us to whatever we do, we inform either in group or if something related to me, then you inform me lor. Say
okay lah. Yeah. How about this lah? Maybe next round. I think I realized the need to do the WhatsApp group. Because right now apart from this workshop, I don't really have much time to do other things. And so after this starting next meeting, we will do the two things. So the first one will be the link tree. The second thing will be the WhatsApp group. I want things to be implemented smooth and sound before we roll out to the role players. That's the point. We don't want after that you say, oh, why the role players don't get the things they want, they need to see, then that is also bad for us.
Okay.
So actually the mini evaluation workshop page is a good start. Everyone can read the message, so we can go on with it. APU style of doing things is that after a few days, then they will kick us out. Kick the role players out. Us as in I'm not APU punya orang, so they kick me out. Then the next meeting will join in, then in, out, and how it goes. This is a good system. Link tree wise, we will need to arrange that one. May I have the account?
Yeah, I will send
password. The one that you have the link tree that present, you just add one more thing called a meeting lah.
Okay.
So those people want to go for meeting, you just click meeting things, just go there, just click our meetings I think that will be do that. Then you go to the next link tree, which is what you said here. Anyway, I'm just wondering why you don't want to put your name there.
My name?
You say only put my name and Joshua. No.
Where?
Hey, you give the suggestions. Remember, the suggestion is as follows. Contact only put VPA or VPM. Too many contacts in the list. Okay. Meeting link. Okay, no problem. That one can be put in. You just tell me what it is, then I just put in. Put templates for technical role players. The Notion site.
Because I think that the link tree is for role players, right?
I think it's for role players or anyone who's attending meetings. Because unless you want to send a very long thing.
Joshua, I sent to you the link, so you can take a look.
It's just a testing website.
Yeah, testing website. The reason is that I see too many contacts and I find it not necessary sometimes.
So the first layer will be us, then if anything, we can go to you lah. Okay, that's good idea. That's good idea. Okay, so I think that's all from me. Yeah. So that two things are.
Okay.
Okay lah. So for the next meeting, it will be a normal meeting. Anyone want to do speeches right now, Joshua? Are you planning to do any speeches?
Oh no, I haven't prepared yet.
Don't worry lah. I will take the role of DME or DTM for the next meeting lah. Either one of it lah. That one is guaranteed because that one preparation not a lot because I got back from my summer school is until the 21st, you know. Sunday pun other class or I was like, oh no way. So I was like, okay. So what happened, it will be like what will happen is the fact that I can do this kind of roles. That is no problem. But I can't have the table topics contests which what Min Kang wants maybe next month.
Yeah, next month. We do different we do special meeting.
You know why I would say next month? Best will be before 16th of September because Malaysia Day so we might want to have a team one. Do you want a Merdeka team, those table topics contest?
Good idea.
Good idea. Because now it's a good time. Then about the next meeting, then see how many speakers, then the normal table topics. That one, you see how
regular,
it works.
Regular. Okay. To conclude, right, today's meeting weakness is the negative word. Today's meeting's improvement will be time management, mostly time management, and also getting role players in on time. So for this, Joshua, any last comments you want to give?
No comments from me.
Okay. So we'll end this post-mortem, and if any more, I would like to, if any more meetings needed, I will send in group. Because sometimes I think need to at least meet among us, not just among us, like in the 𝐘𝐲𝐻 team to really talk about 𝐘𝐲 management, club management. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Again, thank you for you guys, and see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.